Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final round of the Sim Experience South Africa 2022 TCR Championship, coming to you from Sachsenring in Germany. So tonight it looks like we'll have one of two drivers being crowned our champion. So it's either Stephen Castellan, who at the moment is 3 points shy of Dylan Versaki. So Dylan Versaki coming in as the most likely champion, but anything can happen tonight. We don't have the biggest number of drivers tonight. Generally, as the seasons progress, guys tend to fall out, and numbers do sometimes get thinner. So we've gone from 30 odd down to only 15. We had about 30 that should have joined, as we're now going into qualifying. 15-minute timer has started. Hello to everyone in the YouTube channel. Cleopas is always our first to be here. Hello, Cleopas. We have Hardest Boys. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And of course we have Denise Abrams. Right, so this should be quite an exciting final round. I'm sure the two drivers that are extremely nervous at this point in time. So let's see out of the two, Dylan Versaki and Stephen Castellan, who will come out on top. Hopefully other drivers don't end up playing a part in it, but that's part of racing if they do, unfortunately. Maybe the guys are able to get drivers between them. For example, Stephen might need to get a driver between himself and Dylan Versaki. So you don't want other guys just jumping out of the way and handing it to the other guys, otherwise that also affects the championship. So let's see how it all plays out. Fantastic track this, lots of undulations. Probably most famous for MotoGP and superbike racing, but there are various other forms of racing that have taken place here, like Formula 4 and Formula 3, I believe, as well, the European Formula 3 Championship, as well as the German Formula 3 Championship. As we're on board now is Jandre. I'm not too sure how the times were before the practice session. I haven't been keeping touch in the last 5 minutes, so I'm not too sure who was the quickest. But I believe Dylan Versaki on the server had the fastest time by a few tenths over, I believe it was Basil in second, and in the third place Stephen Castellan. Getting a bit tongue-tied here. Sean Princely in the chat. Good evening, Sean. Game audio sounds very hollow. Okay. Let's see if I can up that. Does that sound any better? I've just upped the volume. Hopefully it sounds a little bit better. Probably change things around slightly. Just let me know if sounds have improved at all. Mike McGeer, hello Mike, evening. Hope to see you joining us this Sunday in the M2 Cup. Speaking of the M2 Cup, we've been driving the M2 Cup on Sundays for our start of our R-Factor 2 League. It's now been released in Estoril Competizioni, so if anyone's keen on that, the new DLC has been released with mostly Italian cars, or Italian and German cars, and the one German car is the BMW M2 CS Racing. So that's another option for guys that are into the ACC or Assetto Corsa Competizioni. Right, so the times are coming in. We have just over 10 minutes left. So Dylan Versaki currently sitting in provisional pole, 27.6 from Stephen Kastner. So our two title protagonists sitting at the sharp end of the field, from Ross Human on 28.6, Jason Null on 28.6, Jean de Duppenau on 28.7, Andre Hildebrandt on a 130.9, Andre Besson on a 31.5, Donnie Stunder on a 32.1. See Andre going wide in the exit of the final turn. Don't think we would have lost too much momentum there. Right, Basil Conrain is now stuck it up in third place on a 27.7. So extremely close at the front, and Stephen has gone to the front with a 27.5. So Dylan on a 27.6, Basil on a 27.7. So extremely close for the top three there. So what Stephen could really do with is having Basil get between himself and Dylan. That will help him in the championship. Of course, you'd need to have that in both races, and then Stephen would be champion. But you also get points for pole position and for fastest laps. So all of that will play into it as well. Who gets pole position, who gets fastest laps. And then the way the point structure works, it's 2 points per position. So the guy in second has 2 points less than the guy in first. The guy in third has 2 points less than the guy in second, and so on. Seeing our flyer from Alwyn coming up there in our introduction, I never reminded everyone that, our championship is brought to us by Alwyn Automotive Glass. So thanks to Alwyn for supporting us throughout this championship and all our other championships. Always been a big part of our racing, and they help make everything possible, as well as a couple of drivers that have contributed towards the running of everything. So thank you to all of those guys. Morris van Veek in the chat saying late at all the best to all the guys. So all the guys, Morris is wishing you well. Hopefully you have a good race. Well, Morris, if you wanted to, you could jump in. There's 7.5 minutes left in qualifying. So if you could get ready in time, you're still welcome to join. Otherwise, Morris, if you like, you can also come join me in commentary if you can. Right, so the top three haven't yet changed. I think they're all on outlaps again. Jason Nell is still in 4th place. James Leach is now in 5th place, ahead of Ross Human. Jean de Duppenau is now in 7th, Andre Besson is 8th, Andre Hildebrandt is 9th, Rian van der Veste is in his 10th, so that's our top 10 at the moment. We have a new driver with us as well, currently in 13th place, Oulton. Welcome, Oulton. Just behind Harvey Goos and Peter Murray. Looks like Mickey Abrams hasn't yet put a time on either, so he's likely to jump up near the front end as well. And Mario Claessens also hasn't yet put a time on the board. Really a fantastic track this. Sweeping lines, the blind apexes, all the undulations. It's really a wonderful track. Right, so James Leach is a little bit off the pace. Most of the tracks he's been near the sharp end here, he seems to be on his back foot slightly. Let's see if he can put it anywhere closer to the front. I guess that's a no, since he's pitted. Alright, on board with Peter Maria. Background, you can see one of the SSRL drivers. I'm not sure if that would be Jason or Dylan. Of course, our championship has had drivers from various other leagues joining us. A lot of the drivers drive between all the various leagues, either own their own leagues or just drive with any other league that's available. Some guys just can't get enough driving in. So if any of you guys would like to join any of the other leagues, of course we have our hosting. We try and focus on Wednesdays and Sundays, but we have the other leagues. We have SRA doing their races. They also do some races on a Sunday, other races during the week. We have Red Line doing races as well. We have SSRL doing races. So feel free to hit up the guys that are involved and get involved with those communities as well. And of course, if you like what any of us are doing, remember to like and subscribe and get involved. If you want to come drive, come sign up and jump on and have some fun. And for those not aware, this championship is currently using Assetto Corsa. We also do championships using R-Factors, so not many guys do R-Factor championships. We do. Most of the other guys will use Assetto Corsa Competizione or Assetto Corsa Vanilla. Those seem to be the most popular. There are one or two guys that can do other things, but if you enjoy, yeah, come join us, get involved, have some fun. So Mika Abrams has now jumped up to 9th place with his time lap of a 1:29.2. As we're looking at Mario Claessens, it's quite a fantastic skin that he's got there. So 3 minutes left to go. We have three drivers currently in the pits. Andre Besson, Mika Abrams and Javier. And now only two in the pits. Perhaps I can do something a little different tonight. During the races I can perhaps pull in some of the drivers. There's not many drivers in the chat at the moment, but maybe we can pull in some of the drivers, have a live chat while they're driving, hopefully without putting them off. I think a lot of the guys don't join the chat during the races just so that they don't get put off by all the other noises and things happening, but as a result I don't get to chat to them during the race. After the race they jump into the chat and I can chat to them then, but not many there at the moment. As we see Andre Hildebrandt pulling over to the side. That will be the end of Andre's run. He won't have enough time to get around and go for another flying run. So, currently, Dylan Versach is in pole position. I haven't even noticed that yet. So, about a 10th faster than Steven Castellan. So, the title fight really going down to the wire and qualifying about a 10th between them. Basil van Rijn is right there behind them as well, giving them a little bit of grief. So they can't just relax and fight it out amongst themselves. James Leach is now up to 4th place. I think he's been in 4th place as well, but I think he improved his time. Jason Null in 5th. Ross Human in 6th. Jandre Dippenaar in 7th. Mika Abrams now in 8th place, so he has slightly improved as well. Andre Besson in 9th place. Andre Hildebrandt in 10th place. And as we see, as I say that, Jason Null has now popped up into 3rd place. So playing the perfect team game there, giving Dylan the support he needs. He'll be right behind him on the grid at this rate. The final seconds of the qualifying timer before the drivers will be allowed to finish their current laps. Alright, qualifying is now officially over. We have 6 drivers still on a flying lap. And crucially, those are our top 5 and 8th place drivers. The rest have all finished and will start where they start. Or where they've qualified already. Alright, so Stephen Castellan on the fly here. Looks like he's coming up to the back of, I believe, Jason Null. I think Jason Null has the red roof on the SSRL cars. I believe Dylan's roof is black, unless I've got those back to front. And Basil van Rijn is actually now stuck in pole. So, Basil's taking the fight to them. 27.2, of course, Basil is still in the fight for 3rd place. So perhaps while we're looking at all this, we can look at the points. So at the moment, Basil's in 7th place in the championship, but can jump up considerably now. Peter Krobler, who's currently 4th in the championship, who would have been fighting for or at least for 3rd, not able to make it tonight, unfortunately not feeling well, so hopefully Peter, you'll feel better soon. So several of the drivers not here tonight. Kieran Groos is not here tonight. Peter Krobler is not here tonight, so that could affect Basil jumping up the standings. So if Basil gets pole, he gets a point for pole. If he gets fastest laps, plus he wins races, then he'll jump up quite nicely in the championship and probably could finish 4th, maybe 3rd, but I don't think 3rd is likely. So Stephen Castellan has finished. It's only Dylan Versaki and Jason Null that are on flyers at the moment. I guess that's it. So that will be our starting order. Basil van Rijn from Dylan Versaki, from Stephen Castellan, from Jason Null, from James Leach, from Ross Human, Andre Besson, Jean-Andre Dupinot, Mika Abrams, Andre Hildebrandt, Hilton Nixon, Mario Claessens, Rian van der Westhuizen, Peter Murray, Dani Stander and Javi Groos. Alright, so let's jump to an ad break and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright, welcome back everyone to race 1 of the final round of the 2022 Sim Experience SA TCR Championship, proudly brought to us by Alwyn Glass. Our championship protagonists sitting right at the front there, second and third. Basil van Rijn sticking it just ahead of them there by about a tenth. Jason Nell sitting right in fourth place to defend and help Dylan Fasaki along. So Dylan Fasaki is looking strong at the moment. He's ahead of Stephen. He's got his teammate right behind Stephen to give Stephen a hard time. Alright, as the lights get ready to go on. Alright, and we'll go. The pack heads down towards turn 1. Looks like James Leach heading out to the outside line to try and get a nice sweeping line in. A little bit of contact there with Stephen and I believe Jason. James Leach now getting ahead of Jason now, which I think would probably be a bit of relief for Stephen. Right, so Basil van Rijn hanging on to the lead from Dylan Fasaki and Stephen Castellan. So the loser at the start was Jason Nell from James Leach. Andre Besson in 6th, Ross Human in 7th, Mika Abrams 8th, Joandre Dippenau 9th, and Andre Hildebrandt in 10th. Looks like Donnie Stander was a bit of a gainer as well, coming up from 15th up to 11th place. Mario Claessen's in 12th. Oulton Nixon in 13th, Peter Ray in 14th, Harvey Close 15th, and Rian van Estesen has dropped down to 16th, so I'm not sure what happened at the start, but Rian seemed to be the one that lost out, and Donnie seemed to be the one that gained. As we see a bit of changing and barging going between the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th positions. Jason Nell having got ahead now again of James Leach. Extremely close gap there. Mika Abrams right behind Andre Besson as well. Right on his bumper. Oh, you see, I believe that's Ross Human that's lost it a little bit there. Somehow managing to come back on track. It looks like Stephen that's further back in the pack. I'm not sure what's happened there. Kinds of carnage going on there. I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like Ross Human had a bit of a moment and came back on, and the guys were trying to avoid and collecting each other. So Ross is now directly behind Stephen. Can he aid Stephen in his championship battle? Stephen can do with the help at this point. So Basil now has about a 1 second gap over Dylan. I'm not sure if they broke or he broke away slightly after all those weird incidents that happened now, but as we see the pack sort of closing a little bit behind there. Mika Evans now challenging as well, now in 7th place, all over the back of Andre. Andre in turn is all over the back of Ross. James Leach has dropped down to 9th place. He was running in 3rd, then got passed by Jason Nell for 3rd, and I guess something happened and he ended up losing out a bit. And that was also where we saw Ross going wide as well, so something strange happened there. positions don't seem to be changing much. Everyone's kind of just line astern at the moment. So currently our best lap is a 29.520 by Basil van der Rijn at the moment, who seems to be keeping the gap steady at about a second from Dylan. So Dylan's hanging in there. Jason Nell is now up to 3rd place, so Stephen has fallen back to 4th. That's not good for his championship hopes. Stephen's going to have to get past. He can't be behind Dylan Versaki with drivers between them. There's just no races, not enough races left for him to make up the difference. Mika cutting the nose of Andre Besson there. That was a really well placed car there. Judging the width and length of his car very well. Also having lots of faith in the netcode. So I'm just busy reading the YouTube comments here. Cleopas saying, "Don't fall asleep, Basil, concentrate." So now Dylan Versace's gap to Jason Null is 2.6 seconds. I wonder if Jason Null is just backing off slightly just to back up Stephen slightly just to make it a bit harder for him to catch Dylan. It's all part of the team game. If you have a driver that's in your team that can help you out, that's definitely a tactic that can be brought into play. So Stephen must be getting desperate to pass. He's about a second behind Jason, so he needs to get right up on his bumper and make a move sooner rather than later, and then do what he can to try and catch up to Dylan. Even ultimate pace or lap times, they were very similar, but I'm not sure what their race pace would be like. Dylan seems to be very consistent in the last round since he upgraded his pedals to load cell pedals. That's definitely helped him with his consistency. Come down the hill, this is one of my favorite parts of the track. James Leach slowly working his way back up again. He's now up to 7th place. Mika Abrams currently sitting in 6th place. Andre Besson slowly being pushed back, now 8th place. So Andre Dipner also slowly being pushed back, is now 9th place. Graham van der Westhaven has made his way back up to 11th place. So he was 16th to start after the incidents, but now back up to 11th. Donny Stonde was 11th, is now back down to 14th. Lots of changes going on in the pack that we're not seeing. I'm having a look up inside of Mika there and making it stick, does he? It's quite a long double or triple left-hander, so he should have the line now. Yes, he does. Lots of Audis suddenly in the race. I guess that's become a very popular car. It was my second car of choice. Very nice neutral car compared to some of them. The Alfa Romeo definitely felt like it had the most nimble handling, but just didn't have the acceleration of some of the others. The Lincoln Co seems to be the better one for top end, as we see a slight collision there between Johnny and Harvey. Sorry, Mario and Harvey. Oh, I believe it was Donnie and Harvey. Oh, Mario and Donnie. So Peter Murray now up to 13th place thanks to that little bit of collision happening there. And Stephen Castellan is now 0.4 of a second behind Jason Null, so getting nice and close. Can he make a move? We've got Andre Dippenau having a look there at Mika Abrams. So Mika not seeming to have the pace to run at the front tonight. Stephen and Jason having a nice battle here. Stephen must be cursing, dying to get past Jason. Of course, anything can happen in race 2 with the reverse grid and how the guys get through and if any incidents happen. So you just need to keep your head up until then. Even if you lose out in this round, you have a couple of points deficit. Anything can happen going into the final race. Close there between the three IDs of Mika. Oh, Mika making a nice pass there, nicely done there, Mika. Andre and Andre. Jason Null, something's happened to Jason Null. He's now down to 9th. They've just gone past him. So Dylan Fasaki 2nd, Stephen Castellan is now 4th, and Ross Human 3rd. I believe there would have been a coming together maybe then between Stephen and Jason Null. James Leach has now got past Stephen as well. So not sure what happened there. We didn't see it, or I didn't see it. Clear pass asking if James Leach has reached his ceiling because he's the climbing has stopped well. He's got behind Ross now, so I guess he's being slowed slightly. We'll see if he gets past Ross, if he can start bridging the gap, but the gap's over 12 seconds, so it's going to be quite a hefty task. Let's see if Stephen Castellan can get past James Leach. I think that would be a keen thing to watch to see if, for the championship points, because at the moment Dylan having a 3-point advantage. Stephen needs to be finishing ahead. If he finishes ahead of Dylan in both races and Dylan is directly behind him, he'll win by 1 point. So that's how close it's come down to the championship, but he has to finish ahead of Dylan. So if he finishes behind Dylan here with a couple of drivers between them, he needs to finish ahead of Dylan in the next race with a few more drivers between them. See Rian making a nice pass there on Hilton. I think Hilton went slightly wide there. Not sure who this person is that's standing in front of the camera there. So, James right in the mix there at the moment with Stephen and Jean-Andre up there as well. So James is right on the back of James Leach. Sorry, James is right on the back of Ross Human at the moment. James can't be on the back of himself. I believe that was Tor-Poznan that ran wide there. I think he lost 2 places as a result of that. Mick Abrams and Jason Hull getting past him. Good to see Oulton there. Hopefully Oulton's having a good time tonight. Good pace so far. Tor-Poznan right behind Mick Abrams and now getting past. I'm just seeing that on the timings as we see Stephen Castellan now being led by Ross. So Ross playing the team game. Almost lost it there as well. So Stephen now up to 4th place. So he just needs to now get past James Leach. Of course, Leach no longer has a car directly in front of him, so let's see if Leach can unleash some speed. Yes, Cleopas, the trackside fans, they obviously don't care about us cameramen trying to see what's happening. At least they're not jumping up and down, they're just standing statically there. The way the times are at the moment, it's showing the gap in laps, so we can't monitor close enough if James is catching to Basil or not. So currently Basil is a second behind Dylan. Not sure if Basil's going to be able to challenge. There's just over 3 minutes left to go, plus an extra lap. I don't think Stephen is catching James at the moment. It looks like that gap is pretty neutral. Currently the closest gap on track is Jean-Andre Duppenaar and Jason Nell and Hilton Nixon and Rian van der Westhuizen. Jason Nell's also pretty close to the back of Ross Human, so that's actually quite a nice battle, the 3 of them for 5th, 6th and 7th, as we see them on screen now. So nice to see 3 different cars. We have the Honda, we have the Lincoln Co, and we have the Audi. Jason having a look up the inside of Ross, a little bit of contact. Oh, Ross coming back, making more contact. Ross's car looks a little bit crumpled on the side, both sides actually. So at the moment we have a minute left to go. We have Basil who's actually closed in on Dylan at the moment. gap was a second, it was now down to about 0.5 and then dropped slightly, obviously in a braking zone. Now it's gone up, so it's actually back up to a second again. Maybe it was just a part of the track. So crucially, Jason Nell is now behind Stephen Castle, and if he can catch up to Stephen, the tall order was basically only a lap and a bit left to go. If he could catch and pass Stephen, that would definitely put the nail in the coffin with Dylan in front and Stephen only in fourth. Basil and Dylan's pretty neutral at the moment in a second, so that looks like Dylan's got that in the bag. It would have been nice if Basil could catch him, they could have a bit of a dice, back him into the back of James Leach, get Stephen involved, and we have a nice dice for the last lap, but not to be. Unfortunately, you see Mario has disconnected. Basil here looking back, not much to see behind. Lots of air there. Looking back in genre, we can see Andre in the distance. Right, so Basil's on the final lap. Let's see how close we can get. It looks like Basil has actually closed in slightly. Definitely visually looks a lot closer, but of course this is now the final lap, so Dylan maybe just backed off slightly. Cutting it fine, I think. 0.2 of a second, the gap there to second. James Leach going to be coming across the line now to take third from Stephen Castellan. So surprisingly, Stephen not even on the podium. I'm sure he'll be very disappointed in that, but he stands a greater chance of getting to the front now in race 2. So Jason Nell taking 5th, Ross Human taking 6th, Jean-Andre Dupenard taking 7th, Henri Besson taking 8th, Mika Abrams taking 9th, Andre Hildebrand, fantastic 10th for Andre. Run from the Vestes, and as you see him coming across the final corner, heading over to the pit wall to greet his pit crew as they cheer him on. Hilton coming across to take 12th place in his first race with us. So well done to Hilton. And then we have Peter Murray, Donny Stonder, Harvey Hoos and Mario. They haven't yet finished, although Mario is disconnected. Peter now comes across the line. And Donny and Harvey. So I believe that's the final turn he's just gone through, yes. So Harvey comes across the line to take the final 15th position, 16th unfortunately being Mario Claessens with his disconnect. Alright, so let's head off to ad break. We'll catch you for race 2 shortly with the reverse grid. Alright, and we're back. So let's see, Harvey Host now starting from pole position from Donington and Peter Murray. Oulton now takes 4th place on the grid. Rian van der Westhuizen 5th place. Andre Hildebrand 6th place. Mika Abrams starting from 7th. Now he usually does very well in reverse grid races, so let's keep an eye on Mika. But perhaps Andre and Jean-Andre could keep up with Mika. Their pace was pretty similar in the previous race, so maybe they can follow Mika through. And we have 10-second timer ready to go. Look at Ross Human here. As we start looking at the guys at the back of the field that should be our championship leaders and everyone there, let's see if there's any incidents as we get going. Hopefully we have no incidents and it's a nice, clean, fair race for everyone. Some guys running wide. Alright, so Mika Abrams getting through there nicely as we see the two GDR drivers coming together, causing all sorts of havoc there. So Ross Human currently out in front from Andre Besson and Jean-Andre Dippenaar. Mika Abrams once again in 4th, now overtaken by Rian van der Westhuizen. You see see Harley first getting nudged wide there by one of the drivers. I believe it was Jason L that nudged him. And Dylan Fasaki getting through. So once again, Stephen Caslin has come off second best. This is not good news for the championship. This will mean that Dylan Fasaki will be our champion at the moment. Let's do an update on the points at the moment. So currently Dylan Fasaki is on 296 points from Stephen Caslin on 287 points. And Jason L taking a solid 270 points, making him third place at the moment. So Basil van Rijn has actually come up to 5th place in the championship, so I think that's as far as you can go. I think Peter Grobler's 4th place will be secure. So Rian van der Weste is currently in 4th place, and a great result so far. With Jason Null and Mick Abrams right behind him there. Jason Null up the inside there, Rian running wide. Looks like I believe it's Dylan Fasaki that's right behind him now as well. The two SSRL drivers mixed up there. Yes, Dylan up the inside now. Rian and Mika slipping up there as well. Ever the opportunist, taking advantage of any open little gap. Rian's not giving in. He's trying his best. Of course, he's got James Leach on his outside as well now. And Basil van Rijn also sitting close by with Stephen Caslin right behind him. So the big surprise here is that Dylan was able to get through, and so did a lot of guys taking advantage of the track limits. So did Jason Nell. That's Basil van Rijn getting past Rian van der Weste as well. So Dylan Fasaki now up to 4th place. I think at the moment Dylan just has to make sure that he finishes ahead of Stephen, and he will be champion. Contact there with James, and I'm not sure that was, I believe it was Basil behind him. And unfortunately Oulton has disconnected. Of contact there with James and Stephen. And Rian now coming past on James there. Momentum. But James is going to try and hang around the outside by the looks of it. Andre Hildebrand having an awesome 10th place in race 1 is now in 12th place. So unfortunately it looks like he's lost out. The start as well is one of the losers that went backwards rather than forwards, and he's slowly fighting his way back now. Basil van Rijn giving Mika Abrams a hard time at the moment for 6th place. So currently Ross Human still sitting solid in 1st place ahead of Jean-Andre Bipinard and Andre Basson. And Dylan Fasaki looming though in 4th place. I'm sure they'll be wanting to rub salt in Stephen's wounds by taking yet another victory. Neil Petrus in the comments saying, well done Hilton. Yeah, Hilton did a fantastic job tonight. So Dylan Versaghi now up to second place with a 3-second gap to Ross Human. So how long before he catches and passes Ross will Ross be able to defend? Jason Nell now up to 4th place and Jean-Andre Dupnois now in 5th place. Basil van Rijn also climbing up there now in 6th place with Nick Abrams on his heels and Stephen Castellan right behind him. So if you look at the gaps between the drivers, there's not much in it. The biggest gap is between 2nd and 1st, so at the moment Stephen still kind of has a shot at catching Dylan, but it's a long shot. As we get a nice shot of the 4 guys at the back of the pack having a nice dice there. Harvey Ghost, Donnie Stander, Peter Marais and Andre Hildebrandt. So Peter having a look there, Donnie, but I think they both run wide. I think Peter suffered from a bit of target fixation there. It's a common problem with race drivers. The driver in front of you does something, you just follow him off. Jason heading up the inside there. Tor-Poznan. Nice clean pass there by Jason. Now hot on the heels of his teammates. Playing a nice tail gunner there for Dylan if anyone comes up behind. So at the moment the way things stand, Dylan has about 11.5 minutes between him and the championship trophy. Stephen Castellan on the other hand has about 11.5 minutes between him and trying to find a way past. Plus getting other drivers between himself and Dylan as well. So it's not impossible, but definitely not likely. Right, as we see all the little battles going throughout the field, seems like packs of 3, packs of 4. So Ross is doing well to hold off Dylan at the moment. Dylan's not catching it that much every lap, but he is catching. So perhaps Ross has got enough pace to hold off Dylan until he eventually gets there. Maybe Ross will get his first win of the season as well. Watching the race slowly unfold. Big thanks to everyone who's taken part in this championship. It's been quite a successful championship. Over 30 drivers that have taken part in it. 10 rounds and effectively 20 races. So it's quite sad to see it coming to an end, and great to have a champion decided in the final round, the actual final race. Congratulations to everyone that's taken a part in this, and to all you guys that have watched and helped make this possible, and of course thanks mostly to Owen as well for sponsoring us and giving us the opportunity to bring this for everyone that wants to come join. change is happening. Looks like Andre Besson is now lost out again. Jean-Louis Dupinard and Basil van Rijn now 4th and 5th. Andre now 6th. Castellan is 3 seconds behind. That gap is increasing. Dylan Fasaki is now in the lead, and it looks like Ross is going to try his best to stick up the inside the way he was lining him up there. But I'm not sure if he's going to have the momentum. He's got 0.2 of a second gap between himself. Steven getting past there. He's pretty close. Steven currently in 6th place with Andre just over a second in front of him. Jean-Andre 2.6 behind Jason, and Jason about 2 seconds behind Ross. So Ross is kind of hanging in there at the moment with Dylan. He's dropped about 4/10 in the last lap, but that's still within striking distance as he goes into the braking zone. You see how close he gets down to 0.2 there again. So he basically needs to be about 0.2 closer to get past in the braking zone. As it stands at the moment, we should have Dylan Fasaki being our champion. I think Jason now won't catch Steven. I think he's too far back to catch Steven, so it'll be Dylan from Steven, from Jason. That'll be our top 3 in the championship. Koblar should then take 4th place, and Basil van Rijn should take 5th from Mika Abrams. Abrams has unfortunately had a disconnect as well. So yes, Mika Abrams definitely will lose out to 5th place. I think Mika could have had 5th place there. There's 1 point between himself and Basil coming into this race. Basil will now take 5th place in the championship. That's very impressive considering Basil only joined mid-season as well. He missed the first few races, so yeah, what could have been for Basil? So 5 minutes left to go in the race. Will there be any late minute drama? At the moment it's been a pretty calm race for most guys. Apart from the start incidents, nothing really much happening in the race. Very sort of clean and quiet. James Leach now, is he going to be able to catch up to the Baffel Steven and put another spanner in the works for Steven? As you see, Jean-Louis running slightly wide. Will he get passed by Basil? No, Basil not getting past him. lost too much momentum by touching the sand there. So, in the meantime, Rian van der Westhuizen has worked his way up to 9th place. Andre Hildebrandt's up to 10th place, Peter Beret up to 11th, Dani Stander is in 12th, Harvey Goos is 13th, and then we unfortunately have the 2 disconnects of Mika Abrams and Hilton Nixon. I'm not sure if I pronounced it as Nickerson or Nixon. The spelling, it kind of makes me think it's Nickerson. So 3 minutes left to go. Dylan has just over a 1 second gap on Ross at the moment. He's in second place from Jason Nell, so a great podium 1 and 3 for SSRL. Andre Besson, a solid 4th place from Stephen Caslin in 5th place, but Stephen only 0.5 behind. So Stephen might still manage to steal 4th place. As we see the helicopter, the cameraman up in the sky flying by the end of the helicopter. So it looks like Jason Nell has got past Ross, and Ross is now coming under attack from Andre Besson and Stephen Castellan. So not sure now if this is Ross just slowing down to help Stephen out at all, but it's not really going to help Stephen at the moment. He'll gain a few points, but it's not going to help if he's behind Dylan. It's certainly been a valiant effort by Stephen throughout the championship, and I think coming into the last round, round 9, I think he was odds on to be champion, but then Dylan just upped it a notch, and we've seen a fantastic pace by Dylan the last 2 rounds. So Ross has now dropped all the way down to 7th place. I'm not sure if Ross is maybe having some kind of tyre troubles or any other kind of issues, but he's dropped from 2nd place all the way down to 7th place. As he picks up that's Andre, sorry, I thought it was Ross. That's Andre now picking up the place from Rian van der Westhuizen. It's Andre now up to 9th and Rian back down to 10th. So Rian having a little bit of issues as well, running wide. So at the moment we have Jason Nell in 1st place, Dylan Fasagi in 2nd, so I'm not sure how and why, but somehow Dylan has run wide and something's happened, but he's actually in 2nd place. It shouldn't affect the championship anyway. He's got plenty of points over Stephen, and Stephen is still in 4th place. And I'm sure that would have been a heart in the mouth moment for Dylan. Not sure if Jason is going to move over for him, but he doesn't need to. So hopefully Jason can take a win. As we're on board with Dylan there. Behind Andre at the moment. Let's see if he can at least get onto the podium for the final race. If he get past, you'll at least be able to see Dylan right in front of him. So you can see Dylan and you can see Jason. So whatever's happening at the moment, everyone's right in front of him. Of course, this is now the final lap, so not much chance left to do anything. Bit of a dangerous game that SSRL are playing. Now Stephen has now got past. Okay, he's 2 seconds behind, so unless Jason is driving really slow, it's not likely to be caught, but Jason could be backing Dylan into Stephen without realizing it. So James Leach now wasn't say up to 4th, but he's just been passed by Basil from Rain for 4th. So Basil now up to 4th, James in 5th, and Ross now 6th. And Ross actually working his way back up again. Andre now 7th, and Andre down to 8th now. Andre Besson, that is. Andre Hildebrand in 9th, and Peter Murray in 10th. So Rand van der Westhuizen now 11th, Donnie Stunder 12th, and Harvey Gross 13th. So it looks like that's going to be the finishing order. Jason Null takes victory in race 2, the final race of the championship. The two teammates make contact, Dylan taking 2nd, and that means Dylan is now crowned the official champion, 2022 TCR champion. So Stephen Caslin taking 3rd place, cementing his 2nd place in the championship, and Basil van Rijn cementing his 5th place in the championship by taking 4th. James Leach finishing 5th. Ross Human 6th. Jean-Andre Dupinard 7th. Andre Besson 8th. You see Andre Hildebrand now coming around the final turn. Take a solid 9th place here. Now we'll probably see Peter Murray. No, we're seeing Rand from the Westhuizen. Peter Murray's already finished. And Donnie Stunder and Harvey Gross are the only two that haven't yet crossed the line. As we now see Donnie Stunder. The colour scheme that Donnie Stunder and Harvey Gross are running is a replica of Harvey Gross's original Formula V colours when he raced Formula V in South Africa. Right, that's the end of it. So let's jump to ad break, then we can catch up with everyone in the chat that's available. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are gathered in the commentary booth with pretty much everyone that's available. So first of all, let's start by congratulating our champion, Dylan Versace. You are the official 2022 Sim Experience South Africa TCR champion.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Well done, boy.
Well done, Dylan. Well done.
sir.
But this won't happen again.
I'll take you on that.
So well done to Dylan and Team SSRL. Great backing up there by Jason as well. But Dylan, that means you're now a double champion. You've won the MX5 Cup and you've won the TCR, so proving you're a master at both rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive.
So this front-wheel drive cars are quite, well, especially this TCRs. It's actually quite nice mods, and yeah, it's just a blast to drive these things, especially with the tracks that you guys selected. It's quite a massive variety of tracks with uphills, downhills, roller coaster rides. But yeah, it was quite a good and fun series.
Yeah, the track selection was Monet's selection, so yeah, he gets props for that.
Yeah, I have to say, especially this last one, I have to say it's quite a. I was quite surprised when I actually drove the track. It's really especially with these sand traps. If you're in that, your race is gone.
It's very much about the flow, and yeah, you hit the sand, it totally breaks momentum.
And momentum. If you have to keep your momentum, especially on this track, if your momentum is down, then you lose so much time. So I just basically most of the corners I coasted through them, trying to keep my speed up, and that mostly helped. But on this track with that fast flowing right-handers the whole time, or left-handers the whole time, your right-hand front tire, that thing burns out so fast. I think halfway, about 8 minutes into the race, my tires were up, I think 130 the whole time. I couldn't turn in. I had to brake earlier just to make the corner. And especially with the guys behind me with such good pace, I tried my best to keep them behind.
Yeah, I saw quite a few guys actually running wide on the brakes. Quite a few of the corners actually, especially at the top of the hill where it's sort of tighter. The guys sort of ran wide there and went off track a few times. Okay,
definitely.
So well done there to Dylan. Then in second place, Stephen, fantastic championship, and unfortunately the last two rounds it just kind of didn't go your way. But yeah, really, really close. And to come into the final race of the season with a chance in it, I mean, brilliant race throughout the season, and well done.
Yeah, Dylan definitely just came into his own in the last 3-4 races. He was kind of untouchable. I couldn't. But also so clean. I mean, a lot of us are a little bit sloppy and things, but geez, when you race around him, it's kind of like, I know he's not going to turn in on me here or block me. So it was an amazing race. Nell as well. He didn't have the pace tonight, even though he beat me, I think, in both races. It was very good track. This track I've never been on in my life, and I will race it single player quite often now.
Yeah, it's a fantastic track, really, really nice. We're actually going to be using it in our BMW Cup for Season 2 as well. That's one of the tracks lined up.
Oh, these ups and downs with the rear-wheel drive is going to be a lot of drifting.
Yes, it's fun.
Gusheshe.
But yeah, it was a tough season with front-wheel drives on all the different tracks and things like that. But all in all, like Dylan said, amazing mods. I mean, for a front-wheel drive, for so many different front-wheel drives to be this close, crazy.
Then Jason, well done again. You're taking victory in the final race of the championship. You've taken third place in the championship, so a solid 1-2 for SSRL in the championship. So fantastic race. You also seem to come strong sort of mid-season, and just your pace was really good. You were always there. So well done, and hopefully you join us again for the next championships.
Didn't you miss? Sorry, I'm going to interrupt, but didn't you miss the first race or two?
I didn't miss anything yet, but
okay.
You're so lucky.
I thought you would have beat me. I thought you missed the first race.
No, so I just wanted to check with Stephen quickly. I'm sure I heard his pit crew manager shout, "No, Michael, no." No, I'm not too sure if there's anything wrong in that crew there. But anyway, besides that, excellent season. I've met some new guys along with the season. Basil and them, a bunch of Lekker Oaks. Was Lekker racing with all of them. Caslin, yeah, you made me sweat through the season. I think we made each other sweat through the season.
Yeah.
And then, to my teammate Dylan, I mean, we did have teamwork. Honestly speaking, me and him, we had plans for the season, and we got the W for the team, and I'm happy. I'm happy with that. And then, big ups to you, Dennis, and Mornay that helped in the beginning. It was an awesome event, awesome season. I'm definitely keen for another one.
Yeah, thanks very much, and congratulations once again.
Shot.
Then let's go through the rest of the guys that are here. I'm just going to start off at the top. Andre Besson, that is. Well done on your result tonight. Great pace tonight. Glad to have you racing with us as well. You haven't been with us for very long, so fantastic result, and you're giving the guys a hard time at the front there.
As I know, thank you.
And then Basil, of course, yourself as well. Also, you came in the championship late. You've really given it to the guys. If you had been there from the beginning, I'm pretty sure you would have been fighting for the championship victory as well.
Yeah, I think so. But I just kept it clean. I mean, Dylan and Kathleen, they had a lucky die, so yeah. But the first race was awesome. Second race, a few bumps and so, but also the racing was so nice. But the last few races was something different. But big thanks to you, Dennis.
Pleasure, and well done again. And I'll see you, I guess, in the next race for the BMW Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Donnie, an up and a down race for you. At one point you were looking pretty solid, then you seemed to have contact. I see at one point you looked like you had contact with Carvey as well. So an up and down race. It's kind of how your championship went, a bit up and down. Things didn't quite go to plan for you, but how was the championship from your side?
Yeah, well, it was very nice racing. It's just I had some bad luck throughout the championship with bumps here and there. Couldn't keep it consistent, and I'm just struggling to get up with the pace with the guys. I mean, like the guys Dylan and Jason and
Dennis, I think he's on mute.
Ross and Steven, those guys, Basil. Oh yes, those guys just fly. And to keep up with them really takes some effort.
Yeah.
And hands up to those guys.
Sorry, Jason saying he thought you were muted. No, I could hear you perfectly. Hopefully everyone else could.
Yeah, got him.
And then
loud and clear.
And then Peter Murray, also fantastic having you with us. Thank you for joining as well, and thank you for your contributions to us as well. And good to see you having a good race at the end there. Your last round didn't go so good with all sorts of issues, but you seem to have quite a fun race tonight.
Yeah, that's unfortunately one of the perks with living in Namibia. You get bad internet and you pay a lot for it. But yeah, tonight's race was very fun. I don't know if it was the track or just sheer dumb luck, as I'm still new and learning. And to carry on with Donnie's words, me and Donnie actually had quite a few fun battles, both of the races. I was actually running on bad internet as well, so I was trying to keep wired, and unfortunately for Donnie and for, I think it was Mario Klaassen at a time, I think the pressure just broke, or whatever you want to call it, and I forced the error on them, and they spun out, and I capitalized on that.
The internet seemed pretty good when I was around you, comparing to normal.
The thing is, I saw my ping spike up to about 160, and then I saw the other cars jump around, so I decided to rather keep my distance rather than running someone off the road. But in any case, it was very fun. Tonight was a very, very fun race, and thanks Dennis for hosting an awesome event, and we look forward to the next one.
Thanks, and pleasure. And then Rian, I'm not sure if Rian's there. I see you've muted yourself. I'm not sure if you're available to chat. If you are, just speak up, or forever repeats.
Rian is just a little bit shy tonight.
Okay, and then the last will be Ross. Ross, you're also having a fantastic round tonight. Unfortunately, didn't get the result in the end, but you were in the lead for a long time there, and I thought you might actually hold them off, but then they suddenly came past, and they seemed to come past at quite a rate, and you didn't quite get the result.
Yeah, I think as soon as my front tyre saw Dylan and Jason in my rearview mirror, they started cocking themselves. So it's like a second race, and I enjoyed it. First time for the first half of a race in the entire season, but it was good.
it seems like the last two tracks we've had have given us probably the best racing, and they're totally different tracks. From a tight and twisty track that no one can get past, that you sit on the guy's bumper no matter what you do, to a track that's fast and flowing like this with all the undulations. Totally different racing, but yet really amazing racing as well.
That was great.
All right, well, then I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to jump off to the other side and finish up. Thank you guys for all your input, and hopefully we'll see.
Shout out.
Thanks, Sammy XP and Owen.
Well, let's start.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And yes, thank you very much to Owen, and thank you to all you guys as well, SSRL, and all you guys that have joined as well from the other groups as well, Redline, and I'm not sure the others. If there's any I'm missing, just let me know. But thanks for making this happen. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dennis.
I also want to give a shout out to the Italian Stallion in Joburg. You know who you are.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks for watching, and to my sister there in Cape Town. First time she watched you.
Oh, get me a number.
Thanks, guys.
Justin, I'll beat you in the track and I'll beat you in the audio.
You're still alive, eh?
Oh, shit.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Dennis.
Okay.
All right, there we have it. New champion crowned. So Dylan Pasaki is the 2022 Sim Experience South Africa TCR champion. So massive congratulations to Dylan. You really put the fight up there. And as Stephen said, the last couple of races, you really put your foot down and you were in a league of your own. So absolutely fantastic racing there. Hopefully the next one, you have a bit more competition from the other guys. Because it was close, but you can't get much more competition than that. But hopefully you also join us for the BMW Cup. I know you did the practice round with us, but you didn't do the official round with us. But I'm sure you would start to improve in that. The next round is this Sunday at Road America. So that's also a track I'm sure you're familiar with. And it'd be awesome to have you there. And to the other guys, thanks to everyone else. And congratulations to the rest of the podium in the championship. So Stephen Caslin taking second in the championship, Jason Knoll taking third, and Peter Krobler, our first runner-up, in fourth place. A fantastic fourth place for Peter. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight due to illness, so hopefully you're feeling better, Peter. And then for the rest of the guys, Mika Abrams in sixth place in the championship, Ross Human taking seventh, Kian Goos / Malvin Goos taking eighth, Jean-Andre Duppenard taking ninth, Sean Olivier taking 10th, Ati Nagel taking 11th, Andre Hildeman taking 12th, Tommy Leary Moss taking 13th, Gilly Silva, I guess that's the Italian Jason's referring to, taking 14th, Rian van der Westhuizen 15th, James Leach 16th, Donnie Stander 17th, Sean Johnson 18th, Mario Claassens 19th, and Sean Kochel 20th. I won't go through the rest of them, but there's a lot. There were 34 drivers in total, so thank you all 34 of you that took part. And to everyone that was involved, Alwyn Automotive Glass, thank you for sponsoring and always being a part of our endeavors. And to the drivers, other people that have contributed and helped make this possible, thank you everyone. And we will catch you, not sure what our next championship will be in Assetto Corsa, so Wednesday nights is likely to be Assetto Corsa nights. We'll either be doing MX5 Cup or a Audi TT Cup. We're not 100% sure on that just yet. So in the next couple of days, we'll probably announce that with a week's gap before that starts. But on Sunday, you can join us for round 2 of our BMW M2 CS Racing Cup. That'll be coming to you from Road America. That'll be around about, I think, 7:15 or 7:20. The stream will start on Sunday evening. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us, and we will catch you then.